So the shir is Le'ela Nishmas, my dear father, and it's of course Le'ela Nishmas, Si Dov ben Chaim Pesach, William and Helen, Rachel Bas Yosef, David ben Abraham, and it's Avram and Mordechai David, Reuben ben Shmuel, Yeshua ben Shmuel, Chana Golda Bas Yisrael, Chaim ben Fege, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, Sion ben Yaakov, Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka, Chaim ben Gedalia, Zalmalei ben Moshe, Chaim Elyo ben Yosef Moshe, Amichai ben Yaakov, Gedalia ben Tzvi Ruvain, Leila Nishmatam, and of course Refuah Shalema to our dear friend Mickey Sunshine. There's an amazing Chaim Vital. Amazing Chaim Vital. Who was Chaim Vital? Chaim. I think he named after him, right? He was a star disciple of whom? Of the Ari HaKadosh. No? And he says something amazing. Fasten your seatbelts for this. Masha, he says that the Iker judgment on Yom Kippur is how we treat our wives. And the raya is the page in front of you. Fasten your seatbelts, Yehuda. You have to show this to Yolanda Miriam. You shouldn't think I'm off the wall, therefore I made the copies. I hope everybody has a copy. Now, before we get to the copies, again, Chaim Vital says that the Iker judgment on Yom Kippur is how we treat our wives. Because we're always wearing a mask. We pretend to be who we're not. Only a wife can see you
or who you are
without the mask. Rabbi Abraham, I'm talking to myself. We always pretend to be, we're always play acting, aren't we? But ishta kigufoi. How do you say that in English, Avram? Ishta kigufo. Echam is Daniel. How do you say that in English? Ishta kigufoi, Bilha. Ishta kigufoi.
Your wife is one
right. So she knows who you really are. And therefore, she reflects the person's true self. And that's what Hashem judges. My Rebbe Rapam Zatzal would say, on Erev Yom Kippur, you don't have to ask your wife for mechila, you have to beg her for mechila. Should I repeat that? I learned by great rabbis. Rapam Zatzal was one of them. Erev Yom Kippur, you don't have to ask your wife for mechila. He said you have to what? Nechama? Nechama, you have to beg her for mechila. Now, where am I coming from? Where am I coming from? I'm coming from Tractate Ksubas, page 62b1 in front of you. That's where I'm coming from. I hope you have the page. Yuda's kind enough to give it out. The Tractate Ksubas 62b1 on the right side. You have it? On the right side. It says, Avol Chachamim Amrim. You see, the sages say, Avol Chachamim Amrim. Have it, Daniel? Avol Chachamim Amrim. Talmidim Yotzon Talmud Torah Shteim Shloishav Shanim Shloi B'Rishus. Students may leave their home to study Torah for 2 or 3 years without the wife's permission. Now wait a minute. Beware. The Gemara comments. You see the next page, Daniel. You have that, Bilha? Yep. Daniel, have it? The Gemara comments. Amar Rava, if that's for me, I'm out to lunch. Amar Rava, Avi, you have it? You have it, Abraham, you have it? Amar Rava, Samche Rabbanan Adarav Abahava. The rabbinical students relied on Ravada Barhava. But they acted accordingly at the risk of what? Their own lives. Now look at footnote 8. See footnote 8? You have it, Sarah? Footnote 8. It was common practice in Rava's generation for married Torah scholars to leave home for more than a month without their wives' permission. Rava explains that although such behavior is prohibited by Rabbi Lezer, these students rely on Ravada Bahava, who reported Rabbi Lezer's ruling disputed by the sages. Rava adds, however, that their embrace of the sages' lenient opinion cost them dearly. They were punished even with death for what? For what?
Anguish.
For the anguish, Sarah, you're not looking in. For the anguish they caused their wives. These great Torah scholars. They knew everything. but if they caused anguish to their wives, that's what Hashem looked at on Yom Kippur. Let's take a look at this incredible story of the Gemara cites an example. You have it? Can you keep the sheet? On the right side, the Gemara cites a story. You have it? An example, Torah scholar who followed the sage's ruling and paid with what?
His life.
Oy, oy, oy. Kiho de Rav Rechumi. Chaim, you know, what does Rechumi mean? Rachamim Lemi. Rechumi. I have Rachmanis for the guy in the mirror. Look at what his name is. Masha, you with me? Kiho de Rav Chumi, a great Torah scholar. His name was Rechumi. Avram, what does Rechumi mean? Rachamim Lemi. I want to have compassion on whom? On the guy in the mirror. That's not enough. His name was Rechumi. He was a Talmud Muvak of the great Rava in Mechuza. It was his practice to come home to his wife when? Every Yom Kippur. Yom Echad, Yehuda, you following? One day, Erev Yom Kippur, he got so fatin in landing. Echam ezeh b'Yivrit, Avraham. Azoi fatift in the landing, into the learning, that he forgot what? To come home. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. He forgot, he just lost track in time, you know. That's what we call the absent-minded Torah scholar. His wife was looking out for him, and what did she say? Hashti osi. Now he's coming, It's almost Yom Kippur, we have to have the Suda together. He's coming. They didn't have no dumb phones, Sarah, in those days. They had no dumb phones. She couldn't call him, right? So she was waiting for him to come home to have the Suda together. Lo yasa, he did not come. Chalash date. She felt disheartened. She felt very upset and depressed and sad. Achis damasa me'eno, she began to cry. Erev Yom Kippur. At that moment, where was hubby? Chaim? In Uman? Where was hubby? In Human? At that moment, he was sitting in an attic. What the heck was the great rabbi doing on Erev Yom Kippur in an attic? He should be home, Yehuda, with the Bible. But no, he's sitting home, Rabbi Abraham. Rachmiel, you with me on this? He's sitting home, he should be home, but he's actually where, Abraham? He's sitting in the attic. What's he doing in the attic? You have a sheet in front of you, Abraham? I hope so. You have a sheet, no?
Yeah.
What happened? The attic gave way beneath him, benoch nafshe. The attic collapsed. Look how the Talmud describes death. Look how the Talmud describes death. And what does noch nafshe literally mean? Bilha. Noch nafshe, you know Hebrew, that's actually Aramaic. His soul was at ease. His soul was at ease. Elisheva, it's good to see you. Noch nafshe. When a person dies, his soul is at ease. You know, when we're alive, we're agitated. You know, you have something shpilkas. You have to go here, you have to go there. You always got to go somewhere. The neshama is in a strange surrounding, because the neshama belongs where? In Olam Haba. The neshama. There's an amazing Meralmi Prague. In 1572, you listening to this? Chaim, just came to hear this. Why is the Jew so despised and hated? Now, in his day, he said, even when they never saw a Jew, right, the Jew is despised, hated, and at the same time feared. Now, the Nazis not only despised and hated the Jews, but they feared the Jew. It's incredible. The Jewish people so defenseless, helpless. The mighty German Wehrmacht, you can Google this, Hitler had an irrational fear of the Jew. It doesn't make any sense. What is he afraid of? Why are we simultaneously, Masha, despised and feared by every nation, morale, even when they never saw a Jew? So I'll give you the morale's idea in my words here. You ever see the movie It Came from Outer Space? You never saw the movie? It's a B movie, 1958. It Came from Outer Space. You were too young. I was 8 years old. I was really scared. It came from outer space. A creature. Says the morale, the goy senses that we are an alien implant. We, the invasion of the body, Daniel, invasion of the body snatchers. The Jew is a chelik elahai mimao, Maddie. He's a, how do you say that in English? He's a Tzelem Elohim. He's masquerading in a spacesuit. But that's not who we are. We are a foreign implant, Moralmi Prague. And the guy senses that. That explains the fear, the revulsion, and the hatred. It came from outer space. If I'm not seeing that movie, I wouldn't have Morale's idea. You know, it's amazing that going back to the future. So, Noch Nafshe. When a Jew dies, his neshama is at ease because she's back in her environment. During our stay on earth, Rabbi Yaakov, we are in our bodysuit, spacesuit. Yom Kippur is one day a year. Well, what do I say, Daniel? I'm a soul man. One day a year where the neshama shines. The rest of the year, who cares about the neshama? The whole year, Chaim, feed me, feed me. Who cares about the neshama? One day a year, what takes front and center? The neshama. My out-of-body experience. One day a year, I exclaim, I am not my spacesuit. I'm not my body. I'm a godly soul. The godly soul couldn't care less about eating and drinking and schmearing and marriage relations. That's Yom Kippur. So, Noch Nafshe. Look how the Talmud describes. Noch Nafshe. His soul is... Anyway, he died. Tragedy. Why was he in an attic on Erev Yom Kippur, Yehuda, instead of being home with the Bible? Why was he in the attic? He was hiding from his Rebbe, because his Rebbe told him, go home. Where are you? So he snuck up into the attic. The Rebbe would say, go home. You hear this? What? He was hiding. He was so fatun in Lanyon. How do you say that in Yiddish? Fatin or fatun? Fatin. A Galician is... Daniel, verstehst du Yiddish ein bisschen? Fatin, fatun. Engrossed. Fatin. Die sind ein Ludwig? Ein Galicianer, Daniel. Ein Galicianer? Oh, ich bin auch ein Galicianer. Oh, ein Landsmann. Ein Landsmann.
He didn't get anything done.
So, he was hiding. And therefore what? He went against Reb Chaim Vital that the Iker judgment on Yom Kippur is how we treat our wives. The Mishnah says in Yuma that Yom Kippur only atones for sins between what? Man and God. Sins between man and a friend, especially his best friend, his wife, Yom Kippur will not atone. Will not atone. This Rabbi Rechumi, he had a lot of Rachmanis for Rechumi. What about the Bible? What about the Bible? He ignored his best friend, his wife. He was too involved with the other woman. Who's the other woman? Who said that? Incredible. Torah is feminine. It's good to be involved with the Torah, but not at the expense of your wife. Not at the expense of your wife. That's pretty incredible. Wow. Rabbi Rechumi. Now, tshuva. Is it found in Uman? Nechama. Is it found in Uman? Desert Eretz Yisrael, leave your wife on Rosh Hashanah? What do you think? Well, if the wife sends you,
That's different.
right? You know what Uman stands for?
No.
No? Uman stands for Rosh Tevis. Uman. And Uman. Elo. Ani Uman, the Ishti. Elo. Ishti Levada. Elo. Rosh Tevis. Elo. Aleph Lamed Vav Lamed. Ani Uman, the Ishti Levada.
Not so good.
You don't like it? I just made it up. Elo. Lay it, no? Make it. Elo, Aleph, Lam, Vav, Nilu, Uman, Vishti, Lavada. But anyway, if the wife sends you, it's another story. But if the wife doesn't want it to be abandoned, right? So,
Bias, she has
Moshe has to let him go. Right? She wants menucha, right? But what?
Why leave her?
She wants him out of the
house.
If she wants him out of the house, that's another story, right? If she wants him out of the house, but otherwise, you know the story. You hear the story about this guy who called his reform rabbi on Erev Yom Kippur. You heard the story? Now all my stories are true. Ruchama, right? Yeah. Yochana, thank you. Yochana, good to have you back. All my stories are true, but some didn't happen yet. But they're all true. It's Erev Yom Kippur. Guy calls up his rabbi. He says, Rabbi, listen, I know it's Kol Nidre tonight, but I got a problem. I'm a really high baseball fan. How do you say? A really high baseball fan. It's the last day of the World Series tonight. The Yankees against the Dodgers. I'm talking 1963. I'm dating myself. The Yankees against the Dodgers. Koufax is pitching against Whitey Ford. I'm not making this up. I was 13 years old. Koufax against Whitey Ford. Tonight, the last game of the World Series, and I have a dilemma. I want to go to Kol Nidre, but the last game of the World Series. Koufax didn't pitch because it was Yom Kippur. So Don Drysdale took over. You can Google this. And he got shelled in the first inning. He gave up 7 runs. Drysdale, you can Google this. So Walt Alston is coming to take him out. Chaim, I remember it much. So he says to him, listen, Skipper, I bet you wish I was Jewish too. This is a true story, Elisha. Skipper, Avraham, you remember that? I bet you wish I was Jewish too. He got shelled in the first inning, said Don Drysdale. Anyway. So anyway, he has this dilemma. So he says, Rabbi, I want to go to Kol Nidre, but the last game of the World Series, I just can't miss it. So the rabbi says, Seymour, that's why we have VCRs.
They didn't have them then.
What? Well, whatever. We can record it, right? Right? We have whatever. You have recording machines, right? So Seymour says, Rabbi, you mean I could tape Kol Nidre? Get it, Aram? You have a VCR, you can tape Kol Nidre. Whatever they had then, right? They had something. Elisheva, priorities. Priorities. Rabbi, I can tape Kol Nidre. Okay. Where was I? There's a pasuk in Ezekiel. Ezekiel has a vision of the heavenly chariot. It says, V'chayot rotza v'shav. The angels that he saw are called chayot. Rotza v'shav. They run away and they return. Now, Chaim, we know that Tanakh is not a history book. Tanakh is GPS. I need to know that 2,500 years ago, Ezekiel had a mystical vision, Daniel. He saw angels and he called them Avilda Chayas. They're running away and they're coming back. What's the message? Yochana, what's the message? Why tell me about it? Why call the angels Chayas? That even though a person acts like a Vilda Chaya, V'ratzad, he runs away from God, V'shav, he can what? Return to sender, he can always come back. Even though you act like a Vilda Chaya, you run away from Hashem, Yecheskel says, V'shav, you can always what? Return to Hashem. What a powerful message. Return to sender. All right? He saw the Vilda Chayas, Ratzah, running away, V'shav, but they can always come back. Now, let me tell you an amazing Zohar. I'm over 40, we can talk Zohar, right? The Zohar wants to know why by Yikrel Moshe there's a Klein Chika Aleph. Right, Chaim? By Yikrel Moshe, so everybody knows with the Klein Chika Aleph, Moshe ran out of ink, right, whatever. Why is there a small, by Yikrel Moshe, with a small Aleph? Rashi says the word Vayikra is a lovey-dovey terms of endearment. Vayikra is a very, very lovey-dovey terms of endearment. Why is it a small aleph? That's one explanation. But the Zohar says something incredible. I'll read you the Zohar. Don't throw rotten tomatoes at me. Moshe Rabbeinu ne'enash. You don't have it on your sheet. Sheyitziar ishto kesheperish mimeno. L'chein nichtava aleph ketana the pasuk Vayikra Moshe. Are you getting this, Abraham? Moshe upset his wife. He was Messiah her. Yiddish Daniel. Not you, Chas v'sholem. Because he separated from her. Therefore, says the Zohar, that Vayikra, which is a lovey-dovey term of endearment, Masha, God couldn't write it full way because Moshe upset his wife. And he doesn't deserve Vayikra in the full spelling because Vayikra is a very, very lovey-dovey term of endearment. Loshen Chiba. And since Moshe upset his wife when he separated from her, says the Zohar, therefore the word Vayikra regarding Moshe is written on Aleph Ketana as a little punishment for causing his wife grief and anguish when he separated from her. So says the Zohar. Anyway, where was I? This week's Parsha is Parshas what? Vayelech. And it's Shabbos Shuvah. Why is it called Shabbos Shuvah? If you take a look at the blue books, if you have one or share with somebody, what page would that be, Yehuda, in the stone Chumash? Haftorah for Shabbos Shuvah. Vayelech.
What page can you say?
1204. Hosea 14. Shuvah Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha. Return Israel. That's why the Shabbos is called Shabbos Shuvah, Leah, right? Because we read Shuvah Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha ki chashalta b'venecha chu machem devarim v'shuvah el Hashem. So Shabbos Shuvah, the Shabbos for Yom Kippur, we read this Haftorah. Who is the author of this chapter? Hosea. Now, there are many prophets in Tanakh. Why did God choose Hosea to tell us Shuvah Yisrael? What about the other 47 prophets? Why dafke him? Yochana. Nechama, you hear the question? The Gemara says because Hosea comes from Ruvain. He's a great-great-grandson of Ruvain, Ben Yaakov. And Ruvain ben Yaakov was the first one to do tshuva. Remember what he did with the Bilhah? It says Vayishkav at Bilhah. Whatever he did wasn't nice, even though he didn't do literally, right? So he was the first to do tshuva, so therefore God chose his descendant. If my grandpa can do tshuva, you guys can do tshuva. But the Chaim, I got a problem, because the Gemara says another place that Adam Arishon was the first to do tshuva. Hello? Houston Control, we got a problem. One place the Gemara in Shabbos says that Ruvain was the first to do tshuva, and therefore Hosea was chosen, his, how do you say, Anikel, his descendant. If my grandpa can do it, you guys can do it. The Gemara says another place, Adam Arishon was the first to do tshuva.
Where?
Adam, after he ate, it wasn't the apple. It was either esrog, right? Esrog or something. It was a grapevine. Everybody agrees it wasn't an apple.
So what did he do?
He did tshuva. The Gemara says in Shabbos he did tshuva. So the answer is that he did tshuva meyirah. Ruvain was the first person to do tshuva me'ahava. From love. He was the first one to do tshuva me'ahava. And therefore, the prophet says, Shuvah ad Hashem Elokecha. First he starts off ad Hashem Elokecha. Ad means what? Bilhah, ad means what? Until, but not all the way. Ad. And then in Apostle Gimel, the prophet contradicts himself. He says, Klu machem devarim. Take with your words, V'shuva, Chaim, El Hashem. Ad means, don't get too close. El means all the way. The Radak asked this question. So he says, not a steer, Avram. Shuva shad Hashem Elokecha. That's tshuva miyira. Tshuva miyira, it's Rosh Hashanah. Amos Adin, how do you say that? Pachad. So you can't get too close because you're only doing tshuva miyira. The Melech sitting in judgment, on trial for our lives. So the tshuva can only be leia miyira. I have to hang back. Tshuva miyira. But Pasuk Gimel, it's important to look at it if you have a book. Chu machem devarim. Take with you words. What kind of words? Vidu on Yom Kippur v'shuva el Hashem. Yom Kippur you do tshuva me'ahava. Then it's el Hashem. Then you're turning a sin into a win. My grandpa did that. Avi, who's Hoshea's great grandpa? Ruvain. Don't mix me up. Ruvain. My grandpa did tshuva me'ahava. Kul mochem devorim. Yom Kippur is all about al chet. What kind of devorim, Chaim? Al chet, al chet, al chet. What page is that, Yehuda?
And the Torah,
1204, Pasuk Gimel. See how they say that? Take with you words. What kind of words?
Take words with you and return to Hashem.
All the way.
Say to him, forgive every sin and accept goodness, and let him live substitute for bulls.
So anyway, that's Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah we do tshuva miyirah. The Amos Hadin, the Pachat, Melech Malchei Amlochim, so you hang back. But Pasuk Gimel, Kul Mochem Devarim, Al Chet, Al Chet, Al Chet, that's tshuva me'ahava, and tshuva me'ahava is all the way El Hashem. You can actually turn the sin into a win. And how do we know? Hosea says, look at my great-grandpa. Ruvain did it. And therefore he's the prophet of tshuva, because his grandpa did tshuva me'ahava, turning the sin into a win. And therefore we do something very strange. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. What are you singing about? You're singing about your sins? You should be hiding. Abraham, you should bury my head in the sand. Why do we sing? Oh, Shamnu, I Gozalnu, I'm a traitor, Debarna Doifi, I'm a no good slanderer, I'm a traitor, Doesn't make any sense, Chaim. Said the Sam Sprecher. I should hide my head in the sand. What am I singing about? Said the Sam Sprecher. Because I do tshuva me'ahava, I'm turning my sin into a win. Nechama, ain't that something to sing about? Well, I can turn a sin into a win. Sam Sprecher, tshuva me'ahava does that. You're turning a sin into a win, and that is something to sing about, said the Sam Sprecher. Not to hide your head in the sand. How much God loves me. Where I can go back into the past, I think it's called reinvent myself. Turn that sin into a win. Tshuva me'ahava. Only a Jew has that. A non-Jew is only tshuva me'yirah. But a Jew can do tshuva me'ahava, actually turning the sin into a win. The beginning of the Parsha, it's important to look inside. Devarim 31:1. Where would that be? Devarim 31:1. Vayelech Moshe. Vayelech Moshe.
This is the only section that the Torah is longer than the...
That's right. The Torah is longer than the Parsha. It's a shorty, Devarim 31:1. What page would that be? Devarim 31:1. Avram, you ain't got it?
Page 1095.
1095. Vayelech Moshe. Moshe went. You have that, Bilha? Daniel? Daniel, my brother. Vayelech Moshe. Moshe went. Where did he go, Chaim? The Even Ezra says he went, this is 5 minutes before he died. He went to say goodbye to all the Yidden. 120. He didn't have a golf cart in those days. A golf cart. Vayelech Moshe. The Even Ezra says he went to say goodbye. Aruva, Arrivederci. How much he loved the people. The tragedy was, Leah, that he loved the people much more than the people loved him. That was the tragedy of Moshe Rabbeinu Avraham. He loved them much more than they loved him. He went to say goodbye. Vayelech Moshe. That's the Even Ezra shot. There are 69 others, of course, right? Now, Vayelech Moshe. Now, Nechama, keep in mind that Rashi never comments unless something is bothering him. Vayelech Moshe. So Rashi comments. How do you know Rashi comments? How do you know Rashi is bothered? Because he comments. What does Rashi say, Chaim? See Vayelech Moshe? What does Rashi say? What? The Gomer. Hello? The Gomer means etc., etc. Very strange Rashi, Masha. What do you want, Rashi? And what do you say, the Gomer? This is probably the strangest Rashi in all of Chumash, my humble opinion. Vayelech Moshe. So Rav Soloveitchik explained. You're sitting down? Rav Avraham, you got to hear this, Avraham. Rav Avraham, you got to hear this. Moshe will be dead in 5 minutes. Where's he going? Well, you know, a person after death, he can't progress anymore. You know, what you do in this world. How do you say to a lady at a funeral, what do you say to a person? Lech, to the dead person. Lech, Beshalom. That's it. A living person say Lech Leshalom. You're constantly moving towards peace. But a person laying at the cemetery, they say Lech Beshalom. That's it. So Rashi wondered, where's Moshe going, Abraham? He'll be dead in 5 minutes. Says Rashi, V'gomer. A regular person dies, it's it. But when a tzaddik dies, V'gomer. What does the gomer mean? Etc., etc. The Gemara says in Sof Masechta Brachot, Tzadikim ein lehem minucha afilu b'olam haba. Yiddish Sarah. It ain't over till it's over. A regular person dies, Abraham, that's it. But Rashi says, Vayelech Moshe v'gomer. When a tzaddik like Moshe dies, he continues to progress. He doesn't have menucha afilu b'olam haba. Every time we learn Torah's Moshe, he gets credit. Vayelech Moshe v'gomer. And therefore the prophet Isaiah says, our tafkid is l'ntoya shamayim. The prophet Isaiah says we have to plant heaven on earth. How do you plant heaven on earth? L'ntoya shamayim. We're down here to plant. Odam eitz hasoda. Nechama, we're compared to a tree. A tree gives off fruit. You plant the tree, and the tree continues to give off fruit, right? So a person after 120 years, the positive forces that he set in motion, the good example, the Torah institutions that he taught, and the role model he was for his children and friends, that continues to move him up. Olam haba is endless. Olam haba is God's mind, Sarah. The Ari says, Olam haba is God's mind. God is endless. He's called the Ein Sof. So the neshama keeps moving up. Vayelech Moshe. It ain't over till it's over. Tzadikim ein lehem menucha afilu b'olam haba. So we do mitzvahs down here. We set positive, forces in motion for good. Then after 120, they continue to give Avram dividends and fruits. Torah's Moshe. Every time you study Rashi, we're elevating Rashi. Rashi says something amazing. Everybody that studies him down here is guaranteed to be in his yeshiva Shalmala. Rashi wrote, if you learn me down here, after 120, you'll be in my yeshiva.
Good seats.
Box seats. Rashi. The deepest secrets in the Torah are contained in Rashi. Vayelech Moshe. Says Rashi, V'gomer, etc., etc. It's not the end of the story. It's not the end of the story. Keep moving on up. Now, if you look at the last verse in the parsha, Devarim 29, Devarim 31:29, Devarim 31:29. Anybody want to read that in English? Bilha, you have that? Devarim 31:29. Moses says, "I know after my death, you people will become corrupt. Turn away, and nebuch evil will befall you ba'achrit hayamim." What's achrit hayamim mean? The end of days. So Rashi wonders. See Rashi Chavtes? After I die, Moshe said, you'll be corrupt. But Rashi said, wait a minute. All the days of Yeshua ben Nun, the Jews were not corrupt.
Where are you reading?
I'm reading Rashi Chavtes. The Devarim Lamed Aleph, Pasuk Chavtes. Rashi Chavtes. Devarim 31, Pasuk 29, Rashi. Achrei Moshe ki hashches tashchisen. Moshe says, after I die, you'll become corrupt. So Rashi says, what does Rashi say? They have it, Chavtes? All of the days that Yeshua ben Nun was alive, the Jewish people were not corrupt. The Jewish people were completely loyal to Hashem under whose leadership? Yeshua ben Nun. That's incredible. Under Moshe's leadership, they rebelled again and again. And under the Shoftim, they rebelled. And under the kings, they rebelled. Under Yeshua ben Nun, all of the Jews were Charedi, Avraham. Because the Navi says in Yeshua, chapter 24, Vayavad Yisrael at Hashem kol yemei Yeshua. The Jewish people served Hashem all the days of Yeshua. The Jewish people were never so loyal to Hashem as in the days of what? Yeshua ben Nun.
Why
So Rashi wonders, what does Moses say, after I die, you'll become corrupt, when Joshua 24 said the Jewish people were completely loyal to Hashem after Moses died, during the lifetime of what? Of Yeshua. Only when Yeshua died did they become corrupt. Says Rashi Mikan, I'm reading Rashi, the Devarim Lamed Aleph Chavtes, Shetalmido shel Adam chaviv olav kegufay. A person's disciple is beloved to him like his own body. Kol zman sheYeshua chai, the entire time Yeshua ben Nun was alive, hoyinira lemoshe kilu hu chai. When Yeshua ben Nun was alive, Moshe Rabbeinu felt that he's living through his Talmud. He didn't feel that he's dead. So when he says, after I die you'll become corrupt, he meant after Yeshua dies. He continued to live on through Yeshua ben Nun. And only when Yeshua ben Nun died did Moshe feel that he died, and then the Yidden did become corrupt.
And his grandson.
What?
And his grandson.
Moshe Rabbeinu's grandson, that's right. Yonatan ben Gershom and Moshe. But the entire days of Yeshua ben Nun, the Jewish people were completely loyal to Hashem. Wow. Now, there's a strange pasuk. Let's go to the English here. Yehuda, I need your help over here. Devarim 31, pasuk 27. Devarim 31, pasuk 27.
Still on page 1099.
1099.
I know your rebelliousness and your stiff neck, behold, while I'm still alive with you today, you've been rebels against
Rebels against God?
and rebels against the God, and still surely after my death.
That's not what the Hebrew says.
No?
No. Who knows Hebrew here? Abraham. You don't have a book, Chaval. Chaim, you have the book? Kinoichi yadati es meryecha zarpacha. Hakoshem benech, I know how stubborn, rebellious you are. Mamar meyitem im Hashem. What does that mean? Mamar meyitem im Hashem. Pasuk Chav Zayin. Kinoichi yadati es meryecha zarpacha. Mamar meyitem im Hashem. What does that mean? What? You know what the man said? You've been rebels with God. Art Scroll, can you send them an email?
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Yohana, why do you change the text for?
Oh, no, they do this all.
Why do they do that? They say you've been rebels. What does it say out again? 27?
Rebels against God.
Rebels against God. But anyone who knows Hebrew, against is neget Hashem. Avram Berkowitz, can you send him an email? It should have said, according to Art Scroll, Mama Mitem neget Hashem. It doesn't say you've been rebels against God. It says you've been rebels with God. Why change the text? Don't play with this. On Wall Street they say don't play with the tape. Or don't fight the tape. We say don't fight the text. Wall Street? You never saw the movie Wall Street? Don't fight the tape. Don't fight the text. Says the Moral Prague Avram. Even when you rebel against God, He's with you. Mama Yitem Hashem. You hear this, Leah? Glad you came today. Doesn't say neget Hashem. Art School, don't play around with the text. Even when a Jew rebels against Hashem, I can't stop loving you. Now this idea goes so far. If you look at Tillim, chapter 139, verse 8. Anyone have a Tillim handy?
I have it.
Oh, Shirley, save the day. But I need it quickly because the clock is ticking. Remember Timex takes a ticking lick on... Thank you. So this idea... Thank you, I have it, Shirley, I have it, thank you. This, I have it.
You have it?
I have it, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Kof Lametes. Okay. Mama Yisem Hashem. Remember, anything in Tanakh has to have a source where? In the Chumash. King David couldn't say anything, Nechama, unless it's found in the Chumash. King David makes a strange statement. If I would say that, they kick me out of yeshiva. Kuf Lametes Avram Pasuk Chet.
Say the number in English.
Chapter 139, Tillim, verse 8. Im esak shemayim shamata. When I die and I go up to heaven, shamata, you're there. Vatzia Shaol. But King David was afraid he might be going to hell. Because what he did with Bathsheba. Not Elisheva, Batsheva. It says, Vatzia Sha'ol. If God forbid I have to descend to hell, Hineko. Hineko, you're there. Even in hell, God never abandons the Jew, then he'll not even in hell. How does King David know that? From here, says the Maral. Hashem, even when you rebel against Hashem, and you have to go to hell, chas v'sholem, God is with you. God never, that's King David. I'd say to kick me out of yeshiva. King David says, if I have to go to hell, Hineka, you are there. And King David knows this, Avram Berkowitz, from this pasuk. You have to write it down. Mama mitem im Hashem. But if you read the art scroll, Yehuda Nebuch, you get all mixed up. All mixed up, Nebuch. Can a parent ever abandon a child, no matter how rotten and wicked? God is our beloved parent. He cannot abandon us, not even in hell. Mama mitem im Hashem. Im Hashem. What a comforting message. That's Kaveh El Hashem, Chazak v'yamas Yibecha. We say Psalm 27. Hope in Hashem. Because He never leaves you. Imo anochi b'tzara. Imo anochi b'tzara. God says, I am always with him in his pain. When a Jew suffers, HaKadosh Baruch Hu suffers with us. Now, in this week's Parsha, you have Devarim 31:19. Devarim 31:19 says, now write down this song. See that, Avram? And teach it to the Jewish people. Place her in their mouths. Place, the Torah is feminine, Yehuda. Sima b'fiem. The Torah is feminine. Place her, Nechama, in their mouth.
31?
Yeah, Devarim 31:19. How do they have that in English? Anybody?
Their mouth, not their.
Sima, can you read that from the beginning?
So now write this song for yourselves and teach it to the children of Israel. Place it in their mouth.
Place her, Sima, it's her.
Place it in their mouth so that the song will be, for me, a witness against the children of Israel.
Write the Sefer Torah and place it in their mouth. Now, the Chama, I know I'm not going to stick it in my ear. There are no extra words in the Torah, Abraham. Where else are you going to put the Torah? In my ear. Why say Simu b'fihem? This is a clear pasuk that we got Leah two Torahs. Kitfu lechem at ashir azot. That's Torah shebiksav. Simu b'fihem is what? Simu b'fihem is what? The oral Torah. Otherwise, Yochanan, it's superfluous. I know I'm not going to put it in my nose. Isn't that amazing? Otherwise, the word it's redundant. Kisvu lechem ashir azot is Torah shebiksav. Simu b'fihem is what, Maddie? Torah shabapeh. Otherwise, the word is redundant, extra, doesn't make any open puzzle. Now, why is the Torah called a song? The Gemara in Sanhedrin 21 says, and the Rambam codifies it, that the Shira refers to what? The Torah. This is the last of the Tayyag mitzvahs, that every Jewish person has a mitzvah to write a Sefer Torah, or buy a letter in a Sefer Torah. Why is a Sefer Torah called a Shira? Too beautiful for words. You know, the Torah, you can't describe it, only as a melody. As a melody. Too beautiful for words. The Torah is God's love song to the Jewish people. But sometimes it contains tough love. It's all love, Sarah, but sometimes it's tough love. But it's God's love song to the Jewish people. Torah is God's love song to the Jewish people. Now, the word now seems to be chayim, what's the word, superfluous or superfluous? Wait a minute, look at our English translation. The word in 31:19. Keep in mind, Avi, Leah, there are no extra words in the Torah scroll. It should have said, write down the Torah. What does it say there? The word in 31:19. What does it say, Chaim?
Write this song.
What?
Write this
No, it says now. Does it say now?
now.
Now or never. What's the word now?
Every day.
The word now seems to be redundant. Write this song It's referring to Torah Shebiksav. Simu B'fiyam is referring to what, Avraham? Torah Shabapeh. Why the word now? Why the word now?
Every day.
It seems to be superfluous. Write the Torah now. So the Mefarshim say this is a sign that Yehuda Hanassi, remember he wrote down the oral Torah? Gittin, page 60. When the Gittin's good. You saw the Yidden were forgetting, verstopped the cup, they weren't taking the spirulina, so they began forgetting, so he had to write down the Mishnah. It says, now write down the written Torah. And the oral Torah must remain PM. But centuries that are not now, there'll come a time where even the oral Torah will have to be written down. Otherwise, the word now is extra. Avram. Now write down the written Torah, and the oral Torah should be made in their mouth. So the Mefarshim say this was a hint to Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi that not now, centuries after this, he also is going to write down the oral Torah as well. But now, when Moshe said this, the oral Torah had to remain oral. Isn't that amazing? How everything is in Torah. Hafokba, the Kulaba, everything is found. What? Everything is found in the Torah. Everything is found in the Torah. Even Esther is found in the Torah. How could that be? Esther lived centuries. Esther lived centuries after the Torah. The Gemara in Chulin makes a strange statement. Chulin, that Esther min Torah minayin. Where's Esther found in the Torah? But how could that be? Esther lived centuries later. Hafokba, Bible codes. Devarim 31:18. Yehuda, you with me or against me? Devarim 31:18. Devarim 31:18. Anybody? Chaim, have it? Vanoichi.
But I will surely have concealed my...
No, in Hebrew. Vanoichi haster panai. Esther min Torah minayin. What does Esther mean? Hide. The Gillas Esther is the only book where God hides himself. His name has not appeared even once. Vanoichi astir panai. In the Gillas Esther, astir. I will hide my face where my name will not be in the book of Esther. But even when God does Hester upon him, he's still there. I'll be there. Gotta get that in. There's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim. He's peeking behind the lattices. In English. He's peeking behind. Even when he's like playing peekaboo with us. Like a parent Yehuda with a child. I think it's called hide and seek. Hide and seek. He's playing hide and seek with us. If I get emotional, you'll excuse me, okay? The Baal Shem Tov was walking the street, he saw a little boy crying. He says, Yingal, was weinste? How do you say that in English? Little boy, why are you crying, Abraham? He says, I'm playing hide and seek. I'm hiding, but nobody's looking for me. Baal Shem Tov begins to cry. He says, imagine how he feels. Imagine how he feels. He's hiding, and who's looking for him? Baal Shem Tov begins to cry. Yiddish Reb Daniel. Dirsh Hashem b'yamatzai. Seek the Lord when he may be found. Says, so the Gemara says that these are these 10 days. So what does that verse in Isaiah mean? The rest of the year, we are looking for God, or we should be. During these 10 days, God is looking for us. God is looking for us. So it's all a game. God plays hide and seek with us. He plays hide and seek with us. Isn't that incredible? Yom Kippurim, a day like Purim. Hello? The Zohar says this. I'm not making this up right from Yom Kippurim, Avram Berkowitz, a day like Purim. How could you, Yom Kippurim, we say Yom Kippur. The Torah never says Yom Kippur in the Chama, it's always Yom Kippurim. Says the Zohar Kodesh, a day like Purim. What could that mean? A day like Purim. There seems to be totally opposite. Yom Kippur, you're fasting, and Purim, you're feasting. How could the Zohar compare it? You sitting down, Sarah? On Purim, Esther was wearing a mask, right? She was hiding her identity. She was masquerading. On Purim, she removed the mask. Didn't she? Hello, it's me. I'm a Beis Yaakov girl. On Purim, Esther, how do you say that, Billa? Removed her mask. What do we do in Yom Kippur, Mindel? What do we do in Yom Kippur? We remove our mask. What's my mask? What's my mask? My spacesuit, my bodysuit. One day a year, I'm removing my mask, Abraham. I'm having an out-of-body experience. I'm saying, Abraham, I'm a soul man. Don't you see? Otherwise, what does Purim got to do with Yom Kippur? On Purim, Esther removed her mask, revealed who she was, and on Yom Kippur, Elisheva, what do? We remove our mask. What's our mask? My bodysuit. I totally ignore the body. Because that's not really me. That's a masquerade. I'm a godly soul. I'm a soul, man. And the godly soul couldn't care less about what? Macaroni and cheese. Or schmearing. Or having a lovey-dovey.
Putting on cream.
Isn't that amazing? Yechana Yiddish? Otherwise, what does Yom Kippur got to do with Purim? Esther removed her mask. Yom Kippurim and Yom Kippur, we remove our mask. We're revealing who I am. I'm a godly soul. That's who I am. Don't confuse me with my bodysuit. Sunday we have a special class, Sunday at 2 o'clock. It's called The Scapegoat. The devil made me do it. The scapegoat? So long, sucker. Avram, the devil made me do it. That's Sunday at 2.